It's 1 minute gone past 9 a.m. Good morning and thank you for joining us on today's edition of News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, where we bring you the trend and stories across the globe. My name is Mekamua Osigbodi. Here are the stories we're monitoring for you across the world. In Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari on Christmas Day said he will retire to his Daura hometown, Katsina State, to rest from the rigors of office and to avoid problems when he exits from office on May 29, 2023. President Buhari stated this while hosting residents of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), who paid him Christmas homage at the presidential villa Abuja. Speaking at the homage, the president expressed his appreciation to Nigerians for trusting, supporting, and giving him the opportunity to serve as their leader. He told the delegation led by the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello, that while campaigning for president in 2003, he took his time to visit the 774 local government areas of the country, and he got overwhelming support from the people. The president used the occasion to once again assure Nigerians that he will not stay in office a day longer than the stipulated time of his tenure in office. And still in Nigeria, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, on Sunday visited internally displaced persons at the Agbagana camp in Makurdi, the Benue state capital, to celebrate the 2022 Christmas Day with them and show solidarity with their 5 years of prolonged displacement by suspected herdsmen. Addressing the IDPs, Obi encouraged them to be patient and look to God for intervention, noting that he shared in their pains and losses. Hence, his decision to join them on a day like Christmas, when many families share love. He also challenged the federal government to resettle the IDPs so that they will move on with their lives. Earlier, Governor Samuel Ortom, who received Obi at the government house, said many presidential candidates have visited Benue but had no empathy to visit over 8 IDP camps to share in their pain. Ortom said a man like Obi, if trusted with the mandate of Nigerians in 2023, will change the fortunes of the nation. On the foreign scene, Pope Francis on Sunday appealed for an end to the senseless war in Ukraine in his traditional Christmas message from St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican. The 86-year-old also warned the 10-month-old conflict was aggravating food shortages around the world, urging an end to the use of food as a weapon. The head of the Catholic Church addressed thousands of faithful gathered in St. Peter's Square, some of them holding Ukrainian flags, before delivering the Orbi et Orbi blessing to the city and to the world. He has repeatedly called for peace ever since Russia invaded Ukraine in February, condemning the war but seeking to maintain a delicate dialogue with Moscow. And moving on to Great Britain, King Charles has greeted crowds at Sandringham after attending a Christmas Day church service for the first time as monarch. The King and Camilla, the Queen Consort, were joined by the Prince and Princess of Wales, their children, and other senior royals at the Norfolk estate. Meanwhile, in his first Christmas message on Sunday, King Charles reflected on the cost of living crisis, spoke of the great anxiety and hardship for those struggling to pay their bills and keep their family fed and warm. There were images of food banks and help for the homeless alongside the speech, recorded by the King in St. George's Chapel, Windsor. He paid tribute to his mother, Queen Elizabeth, who is buried in the chapel. The late Queen pioneered the televised Royal Christmas Day address and used what was to become her final message last year to speak of passing the baton to the next generation. The themes of the King's speech touched on some of his causes and beliefs, concern for the disadvantaged, the importance of public service, and supporting a multi-faith approach to religion. While in Afghanistan, 3 major non-governmental organizations have halted work in Afghanistan after women were banned from working for them by the Taliban. In a joint statement, Care International, the Norwegian Refugee Council (NRC), and Save the Children said they would be unable to continue their work without their female staff. The aid groups are demanding that women can continue to work for them. In the exciting world of sport, family members spent Christmas morning on Sunday with Pele at the Sao Paulo hospital, where the legendary footballer is battling worsening cancer, as well as kidney and heart problems, according to a social media post by his daughter. Fans of the player, considered by many the greatest of all time, have been expressing hope for his recovery since he was hospitalized in Sao Paulo in late November. Shortly after midnight at the start of Christmas Day, Pele's daughter, Kelly Nascimento, posted a picture of the footballer's wife, Marcia Aoki, and other family members gathered at the Albert Einstein Hospital, where he is being treated. Pele was not visible in the image. That's all we have for you on this edition of News Sponge. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we bring you analysis of the stories. Do stay tuned.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Why not kill us for Nigeria? Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce the expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold Indomine? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show. Welcome to the Diamond Breakfast Show, a production of the News and Current Affairs Department of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry. Today's show is special. It's of dual parts, and while the first will feature analysis of headline stories, the second part will take a look at the Christmas and Boxing Day celebration. And so we get straight into the first part. Let's get into the analysis of some of the major stories from the week. And to do this with me this morning is Mr. Adinojo Adiola, FCPA. He's a public affairs analyst and social commentator. Good morning, sir. It's great to have you in the studio.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, Nigeria.
And by the way, compliments of the season.
In fact, a real one. Thank you.
Trust you are enjoying the holidays.
We are trying to cope.
All right, so let's get straight into the first story for today. Bear in mind that we're live on Facebook at Diamond 887 FM. Be sure to drop a comment in the comment section to be a part of the conversation. And same as YouTube, Diamond FM Ilorin. Be sure to give us a follow and, of course, drop a comment in the comment section. You could also send a message via WhatsApp 0913-655-6864. Now, for the first story, it's on Kuka's claim that Buhari is leaving Nigerians more vulnerable than when he came 2015. Now, the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Matthew Asan Kuka, said on Sunday that despite the many lofty promises of President Muhammadu Buhari, he is leaving Nigerians far more vulnerable than when he assumed office on May 29, 2015. The fiery cleric also said he has no doubt that the health of the president had improved in the last 7.5 years, but wished millions of Nigerians enjoy a fraction of Buhari's enhanced health through access to better healthcare services in the country. Now, the septuagenarian preacher stated this in his 2022 Christmas message titled Nigeria, Let Us Turn a New Page, and made available to newsmen by the Director of Social Communications of Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Reverend Father Christopher Omotocho. My first question, what's your take on the position of the popular clergyman?
Actually, I think Nigeria is running a democracy. And in a democratic system, you look at it that there are freedom of speech. And in as much you are a Nigerian, either by birth, naturalization, or any other form, you are free to express your mind on certain things, which I believe Bishop Martin Koka is not running out of content. And if you look at what he has said, to me, he explained everything in an explicit way. Unless you are not up to 18 years voting age, before what Martin Koka have said will be a kind of mirage to you. He talked of the insecurity in the country within the period of this present administration, the two tenure. He talked of the issue of religion, misplacement, how Nigeria doesn't have confidence even in their country. You understand? And he has explained that the way he feels. And this is not the first time. Even in the Easter period, he said something. He only consolidated what he has said. now. But from my opinion, I want us to look at two things. If you are a leader, either by ascribed or in any other form, you have a lot of followers. And looking at leaders in Nigeria, it is either a aristocrat or plutocrat. You discover that most of the followers in Nigeria follow their leader because of the interest they have and what they perceive in that leader. So as a result of that, when you want to say something, you have to look at many things that consolidate it. One, you look at the timing. Two, what language will I use for my people to better understand what I have in mind, so that they will not take it the other way around, especially in this period of election, you understand. And I will corroborate this with what Tanko Yakata have said. He also listened to Bishop Martin Coker, and at the end of the day, he said that we have survived 7.5 years or more or less like that out of the 8 years. So the remaining 5 months, we can easily survive it. The next thing is to focus on the next line of action. What kind of leaders are we expecting next? What are the composition of the leaders? What do you need for your country? If it is the issue of 5,000 for me to vote, you should not blame anybody. I think you should keep that 5,000 till another 4 years before you say you want to exercise another franchise. So to me, I subscribe to what Tanko Yakata have said. That era have gone. But we need to remind ourselves stylishly of what has gone in order for you to know how to prepare for future. There's nothing bad about that. So the major focus now is what kind of leaders are we looking for? What is there in Nigeria that we think we're supposed to put in place that is not there today? And how do we go about that during election? That is my take.
As a social commentator and public affairs analyst, what's your assessment of the Buhari-led administration in the past 7.5 years?
Yeah, you see, assessment depends on perception. And there is no way you perceive a particular administration without making reference to the previous ones. You know, before Buhari came in, we heard of this bombing in Abuja, many places, you understand. People were even afraid of traveling. You see somebody selling watermelon, you will even be afraid of approaching the person. If you go through ATM, when somebody is putting on hijab, then you'll be afraid of approaching the person or queue at his front or back. And as a result of that, one can say something has reduced in that area. But at the same time, as a social commentator, it was not as expand as what we have now. You understand, it has moved to many other states, although the dimension is different. And another aspect apart from security is the economy. We all know what we are facing now in terms of economy, and I have expected Mr. President to bridge up or have a meeting with Mr. Emefiele before this time. Just look at this man that left, Soludo. I love the man. He's the first non-banker that have held that position, and he make a remarkable landmark before he left. Look at the bank consolidation system. Look at the polymer. He has even given a sensitization to a layman for him to know that something new is coming to Nigeria then. But this kind of administration we are witnessing in the economic system, I expect Mr. President to have called Emefiele and give a rational sensitization to whatever monetary policy they want to put up in the country.
All right, thank you. We go further into the analysis of the speech by the bishop. But right now, let's go on a quick timeout. When we get back, we get into more analysis. Stay with us.
dókítà ẹ dákun ẹ gbà mí ọmọ ìgbà ṣáà ń sunkún ni bẹ́ẹ̀ lára rẹ̀ ń gbóná.
ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré ṣàyẹ̀wò fún un àsìkò tó máa ń wo eyín ló wà yìí yóò wà nílò kẹ́tẹ̀tẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní lo baobab syrup fún òun lògùn eyín tí ò ní jẹ́ kérìgì ó máa hun kò sì tún ní jẹ́ kójú ọmọ ó máa wà mí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò ní fa bàṣẹ lára.
dókítà ẹ ṣé o ara ọmọ mi ti ń balẹ̀.
oògùn baobab syrup ó wà káàkiri àwọn ilé ìtajà oògùn tó dojúlówó tí kò bá sí yàtọ̀ láàrin ọjọ́ méjì kàn sí dókítà rẹ̀. baobab syrup ilé iṣẹ́ biomedical limited ló ń ṣe jáde.
Your dreams of owning a home in an organized, well laid out, secured environment with 24-hour stable electricity and portable drinking water is within your reach. Grab this once in a lifetime opportunity as Las Vegas Imperial Estate offers for sale 50 plots of land measuring 450 square meter per plot at 8 million naira. That is a massive 2 million naira off the normal rate of 10 million naira per plot. This end of the year promo lasts from November 10, 2022 to January 31st, 2023. Payments can be made in installments within these 3 months, while outright payments attract a 5% discount. Las Vegas Imperial Estate is located right behind Kwara State House of Assembly Complex, overlooking the Asta Dam water. For inquiries, contact 0806 286 5734 or 0803 046 1993. Las Vegas Imperial Estate, luxury and comfort.
17 minutes after 9, welcome back to the Diamond Breakfast Show. And currently we're analyzing the speech by Bishop Coker. Now, Mr. Adiyonju, the bishop further penned, he said, "In my Christmas message last year, I pointed out the fact that you had breached the Constitution by your failure to honor and adhere to the federal character provisions of our Constitution. The evidence is all before us all." That was his statement. Now, do you share in his view of the president's failure to respect or yield to the federal character provisions in the Constitution?
At times, you see, public outspoken can be a matter of opinion. And Bishop Martin Coker said it to his own opinion. And if I look at what the president is saying, he believes, the way I see him and his action, I think he believes in the unity of this country, and the corporate existence of this country is supposed to be the most paramount thing in the mind of every leader, which he has followed. So approach to what Mr. President is doing to Bishop Martin Coker is not the expected way. But to me, I think the man has been, Mr. President has been upright in certain area. For instance, in the area of corruption, in the area of public output, I appreciate him in that area. But sometimes he's too silent. Probably that is why Bishop Martin Coker is saying what he said. He's too silent on national issue. Look at the various killing, especially when it's attached to religion and ethnic. If you don't want somebody to think that probably you are looking for division in the country, a president is supposed to come out and say what he's supposed to say. That is what I was talking about, timing. Probably because of his silence, I think Martin Coker have said what he said. But to me, I think the president still believes in the existence of this country as one nation.
Now, the cleric, just like you commended the president, the cleric also commended the president for the efforts made in the area of infrastructure and in seeking to end malfeasance in the electoral processes. Now, he alluded to Muslim ticket and insecurity. What's your thought on the grievances that trail Muslim ticket of the majority party and the call for community local policing?
Actually, you see, on the aspect of Muslim ticket, if you look at it critically, when you look at politicians, I think to them, they are business person. And APC have looked at it that the only way of somebody coming from South who is a Muslim, if he really want to have the vote of the people from the North, he must pick a Muslim vice, which is, to me, I think the nation supposed to weigh a balance between the two religions, you understand. But so it may, they have calculated it that way. And the issue of the local policing, without autonomous to the local government, without a full respect to the local government system, when you are talking of the local policing system, even the issue of vigilante and this call-up local army will not work. In as much you have not given a certain role to the traditional leaders that these people believe are the grassroots. We only have a paperwork, and the paperwork we establish it that if we are having a perfect system, but going to it feasibly, you discover that you are having something contrary to the paperwork in a practical form. So for us to have I appreciate the local policing system, but for us to have a respected local policing system, we need to respect our constitution that explain the 3 tiers of government: federal, state, and local government. Let local government exist the way it's supposed to exist.
Now, a lot of blame is being put on the president as the first citizen of the country, definitely. Do you think it's okay for people to push the woes of the country on leaders?
If it's okay, if the country is perfect, whom would they ascribe it to? Is it not the president? So if it is the other way around, they will call on the president. It is, I think, you see, criticism at times is like fertilizer. It may smell bad, but make the crop grow. They are working the president to they are working him up to responsibility for him to know that he is the father of the nation and is supposed to take care of every tiers and organs of government the way he expected. If we didn't talk about the president, as Nigeria, as is it the minister or commissioner or governor we are going to talk about? A governor will not have power more than his state. A minister will not have power more than his jurisdiction if it is a water resources. But the president have consolidated everything, and that is why we have to mention his name for him to wake up to responsibility as the chief executive of the nation.
Now let's move on to the final story for this segment, and it's on Umahi's ban of street campaigns by political parties in Ebonyi State. The governor of Ebonyi, David Umahi, a few months to the 2023 general elections, banned street campaigns by political parties. Now, while he threatened to seal off party secretariats and offices of defaulters, Umahi also banned pasting of posters on critical infrastructures, including electric poles, concrete medians, roads, flyover bridges, and other critical infrastructures of the state by all political parties in the state. Now, the governor who made this known in a statement to newsmen in Abakaliki by his Commissioner of Information and State Orientation, Mr. Uchenna Orji, threatened to clamp down on political parties, including his All Progressive Congress APC, that littered the infrastructure with posters. Umahi, however, gave a marching order to all political parties, including APC, to remove with immediate effect all the posters that already littered on the critical infrastructures in the state. Which begs my first question. How would you describe the action or measure to put in place by the Ebonyi governor in the state at 2023 election when it's so close? How would you place this?
I think there's no time so close to formulate a law that will benefit the nation. And I still also believe that the man is not running, the governor is not running out of content. Because for anything that is being backed up by law, either the federal law, state lawmaker made it, if the local government is in existence, either by law of the local government, it will abide by the people within that clan. You understand? And there is what we refer to executive order. The man has already introduced executive order 3 early this year, and he has, said that this is going to bind every political party, of which his own party happened to be the one that break the law. He has fined them 5 million naira. He said they should pay this money before 31st of this December. Failure to pay that money means that they are going to pay 50 million instead of 5 million. And he said that he has pardoned other political parties that did the same thing simply because his party were the number one that opened the road for them. He now gave other political party condition that they should remove their poster, banners, those areas that they are not supposed to put it, probably on the infrastructural facility, the electric pole, the culvert, and what have you. He also said further in the executive order that any political party that want to make campaign, they should not go to marketplace, they should not go to motor park, and they should not go to school. This is because this area are so sensitive. The categories and composition of people in this area can be induced easily, and the situation may go the other way around. And if you look at the history of political system and political party and campaign in Nigeria before now, you discover that most of that area are the area where they recruit their machinery to create havoc, and that is why they have been looking at it in order to weave balance within the system and create decorum. So what Umahi has done, especially to his own political party, honestly, let us look at the physical operation. Is okay, but the machinery of it is the implementation. Let us see what will happen between now and 31st of this very month. If he has mellowed on his situation, and he said the money, the 5 million, will be paid into the state revenue. You understand? Either the state government pay the the state party pay the money, or the federal party. I know there will be an IGR into the purse of the state for public good public policy in the state. It's a good move, and I will appeal other state governors follow the suit in order to caution the political party to a reasonable extent.
Now, what measures can be put in place to ensure free, fair, and credible elections in the country? I mean, looking at the current situation now, when it prohibits people from the current electoral process allows for people to post their posters on major infrastructures because they believe that's where people get to see them. Now, prohibiting this may reduce the output of certain parties. What do you feel is the best way to improve the promotion of candidates or parties by political parties?
Why I love that law is that he made it in a way that before you take something from somebody, you have to give an alternative. He said that you must take permission before you paste whatever you want to paste. Look at most of this beautiful infrastructure that are being done with a lot of money. They litter it with poster, and at the end of the day, some people that want to, indulge in evil perpetration, follow the suit. And as a result of that, he has given a strategic place where you can paste your poster. Then the jingle and advert are there. You can go to different social media to make your jingles and advert. And also, there are ways of doing things in a decorum way. We are becoming civilized in this nation, not just to put your poster even to block the view of an incoming vehicle. You understand? If you give an opportunity to Nigerians to move an inch, they will trek miles. And as a result of that, whatever policy you are trying to formulate within the public will be an opposite way of understanding as a result of certain people violating the law. If they can caution the political party, every political party in each of the states like that, you discover that the followers will follow suit, because it is better you control the head than the tail. So immediately they are being fined and everybody follow the suit. They can go and make their jingles. They can liaise with the National Orientation Agency. Yeah, they are federal people. They can liaise with state orientation agency in order to sensitize. They have the town crier at the local government. They can liaise with the traditional rulers. They go it in the traditional. And even if you look at most of the people in the society today, in any part of Nigeria, people still believe in their traditional ruler settling disputes, informing them of a new mechanism rather than go to the conventional court. Probably because of the finance or the bureaucratic bottleneck or whatever, they still believe in this their traditional ruler because these are the people that are accessible to them. The political party can move on to the traditional ruler. Traditional ruler is father of everybody in the nation. They are apolitical. You go to them. This is what you have in mind. Call the peoples in the palace. Let us know. There will even be a respect for the traditional ruler, courtesy of the people. You understand? So that I don't believe if they have been submerged not to put poster on a public infrastructure, people will not be able to see their image. Even the image they have been posted right from the 1999 when we begin our democracy, what has it yielded to us? So if they stop putting up the poster and people know who they are going to vote for, and they vote for you, you do everything according to the people's aspiration, we have a better Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. It's about time that we open up the phone lines for listeners and so we could get their reactions. But before then, let's go on a quick timeout. When we get back, we'll open up the phone lines and you can call in to be a part of the conversation. This is the Diamond Breakfast Show. Stay with us.
sí mọ́ àwọn ká ti sá lọ àrùnmọ́lẹ́gùn ẹ̀yìn dídùn làkúrẹ́ ìgbé wọ́n ti lọ wá bí wọ́n sí kára ó lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa.
kókó lára ọ̀tá le. gbéra ńlẹ̀ kó dìde. kára ó lè pè ń ban. àtúrà wọ̀ àtúrà pẹ̀sẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa. kegun tó kegun náà. kára ó yá gágá. ara ń ronú tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ronú mọ́. tẹ̀bá ti fi kára ó lè pè ń ban ra. lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọnú igun. tó sì ń ṣe àtúntò rẹ̀. òṣùbù yẹ̀kẹ́ fa párọ̀ tàbí fi ẹsẹ̀ dá. fi kára ó lè pè ń ban bọ̀. káì ara rẹ̀ ó lè padà yakinlala. action ó jẹ́ àwọ̀ká àròmọ̀léegun làkúègbé ara ríro tàbí ẹ̀yìn dídùn. kára ó lè pè ń ban lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wọn. agbára pọ̀ kára ó lè pè ń ban. tuyi pharmaceutical industries limited. àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká po oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. kára ó lè pè ń ban. ẹ̀rọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pín ìrèpàtú òpèrè ta pàtà pọ́npọ́n. kára ó lè pè ń ban. ó kì í síbẹ̀.
kára ó lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa.
One man knows Nigeria, understands the people, and knows how to get Nigeria back on the road to growth. His capacity to navigate numerous industries towards growth and expansion is tested and trusted. No one needs to show Atiku Abubakar how to move Nigeria forward through challenges and onto greatness. He already has a sure plan, a strategist in entrepreneur and job creator. Atiku Abubakar knows Nigeria, knows our people, and knows the world. Atiku for sure.
PDP!
Sponsored by the Atiku Okowa Organizing for Action.
àjọ̀dún oníkádùn ìlú Òmùaran tún dé o. Òmùaran festival 2022.
Òmùaran ni ìlú mi o, gbogbo ọmọ Òmùaran ẹ wálé. Ẹ jẹ́ kájọ ṣe kájọ gbèlú bàbá wa lárugẹ.
ká ṣe ìgbélárugẹ àṣà àti ìṣẹ̀ṣe ìlú bàbá ẹni ló sọ nínú ojúlówó ọmọ ìlú. Òmùaran Development Association ODA ló ń ké sí gbogbo ọmọ ìlú Òmùaran ní tìlé toko àti gbogbo èèyàn pátápátá síbi Òmùaran festival 2022 Friday 30 December 2022 ni yóò gbéra sọ pẹ̀lú bọ́ọ̀lù apanilẹ́rìn novelty match àti àṣà náà tó bá di ọjọ́ Saturday 31 December 2022 ògangan ni ayẹyẹ yóò wáyé láago 10 òwúrọ̀ ní Gombe Secondary School Òmùaran lábẹ́ alága ọjọ́ náà Alhaji Ganiu Ọláyínká Oyèdèpò tí gbogbo èèyàn mọ̀ sí Koko Zaria Olóyè Solomon Adémọ́lá Adébóyè onígẹmọ tìlú Òmùaran àwọn alága obìnrin Mrs Kemi Ọládùn ní Fájánà JP aláṣẹ àti olùdarí Twins Fájánà Nigeria Limited tó wà ní Kọ̀túnlẹ̀kọ̀ àti alájà Dr Mariam Bọ́láńlé Yusuf Kamwaya special guest of honour the executive governor of Kwara State His Excellency Abdulrahman Abdulrazak Father of the Day Bishop David Oyedepo Chancellor Covenant and Landmark University Chief Host Comrade Dide Onyiloye TIC Chairman Ìdápẹ́dù Local Government Kwara State Royal Father of the Day His Royal Majesty Ọba Abdulrahim Ọládélé Adéòtí Olóhùn ẹ̀fọ̀n kejì Olóhùn tìlú Òmùaran ẹ̀já wálé kájọ gbé àṣà àti ìlú bàbá wa ga Dr Oyèbọ̀dé Ali Dúrótoyè Chairman Planning Committee Retired Major General Ọláyẹmí Abidoye National President ODA fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ pè sórí 08034359536 Òmùaran Festival 2022 ó máa láò gan.
33 minutes after 9, welcome back to the Diamond Breakfast Show, and it's about time that we open up the phone lines for you to call in as we wrap up the first segment of the show. 0913-655-6952 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Because of our time, we take just one call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dr. Zil from Fati.
All right, Dr. Zil, go on.
Yeah, let me first of all greet the analyst in the studio.
Right.
And also let you know that what Father Hassan Kuka, Matthew Kuka said, is not about his own opinion, or because we are running democracy, everybody can just say this opinion thing. Because opinion is not just about opinion. Is it real? Is it a reality? Is what he said is true. We don't need to deceive ourselves or beat about the bush about it. It is reality as we speak. In comparison with what happened in other clients like us that are on the same level with us, or when the president came in 2015, the difference is clear that as we speak, we are more vulnerable in everything. And when we are missing it, we should say it the way it is, not just linking it to one personal opinion or something. It's not so. Then concerning this, what's it called, the governor of Ebonyi State, what he is doing, to me, they say if you are doing something that you're supposed to have done, the time you are doing it, people will actually link it or check it, whether it is right or wrong. What he is doing currently, it is not wrong, but in terms of like the earlier the better. Because if he had done it when he is still going to contest again, it would have been better. But now that he's going, he now wants to be bringing one executive order that by the time you check it, you will see that there are some things that he himself is trying to hide under. Maybe trying to just make it look as if he's party. Like this one, they said he's also finding his party.
All right.
He's not really doing so as supposed.
Well.
So it's something that we need to look into.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Zil, for your contribution. On a final note, Mr. Dinyojo, what are your final words?
Yeah, we should all believe in this country and we should believe in our leader, but that doesn't mean we should not checkmate them whenever anything is wrong. But our opinions must go with the national issue. God bless Nigeria. All
right, thank you so much, Mr. Dinyojo Adeola, FCPA. He's a public affairs analyst and social commentator. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. And dear listeners, it's a wrap on the first segment of the Diamond Breakfast Show. We're going to quick time out. When we get back, we move straight into the next segment.
Diamond FM, your one-stop dial.
Well, thank you everyone for staying to Diamond 88.7 FM. It's still the Diamond Breakfast Show, a production of our News and Current Affairs Department. And my name is Mekamua Osigbodi. On the final lap of the program, I'm joined by Pastor Moses A. Pupola, Director of Mission C&S Movement Church Ioneer Worldwide, and Senior Pastor C&S Movement Church Ilorin District Headquarters, Muritalawe Ilorin. Good morning, sir. It's great to have you in the studio this morning.
Good morning, and how are you?
Very well, sir. Very well.
Merry Christmas to you
Same
and
to you,
all
sir.
our viewers all over the world. It's good to be in Diamond FM because you are going to shine this year.
Yeah, it's great to have you in the studio, sir. Now, let's get straight into the conversation because of our time. Now, yesterday was Christmas Day, while today is Boxing Day. Now, help us understand the reason for the observance of these days in the last month of every year. We will appreciate biblical background allusion on the subject matter.
Well, you know, all over the world we had assumed or we had concluded that December is the time that Jesus was born. And so if Jesus was born in December, then they fix the dates from the religious perspective and say, okay, maybe the last weekend or last week or the last few days of the year. And so we do Christmas in 25 of December and then 26, which is supposed to be a day to give gifts. And that's why it's called, it's not boxing now. You know, people have turned it to as if you are going to box. It's box in. So you put your gift in a box and give it to somebody. So, and you know, Christmas is all about gifts. John chapter 3, verse 16, the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And so Jesus is a gift to this world. And as a matter of fact, when you do Christmas, it's about gifts. God gave us Jesus, and so we also need to give gifts to people. So the second day of Christmas is when we do that gifts. And so that's
Now, so what are the rituals and activities associated with Christmas practice in the olden days, but these practices are not evident in this day?
Basically, like I said, Christmas is the time to give God appreciation, to let him know that we appreciate him for keeping our lives. That's number one. But basically, you know, Christmas is about Jesus. And so it's the time we celebrate that God, celebrating our salvation. Because, you know, Jesus came to save mankind from our destruction. Genesis chapter 3, when Adam fell, God said, I'm going to do this. He told Adam and Eve, your own seed will bruise the head of the serpent, and then the serpent will bite the heels. And that prophecy was what come to pass. And so if you read Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, he said, oh, son is born, the child is given. The child is born, the son is given. And then he said, government shall be upon. And so all this is what we do. So in the olden days, what I met on ground was that we buy new clothes, we buy food, we do this, and so they celebrate. But you know the economy now. Yes, I know that people are still buying, but it's not like those days. All over the place, you find lightning, you find people going about. But thank God again for Kwara, and thank God for Diamond. At least I came here yesterday and I saw the Diamond Park was full with people. At least we are still trying to bring it back. But by and large, the most important thing we do is that when we do Christmas, we give gifts to people.
Now, let's talk about the do's and don'ts for a good Christian during the observant day. What is expected of a Christian faithful on this particular days?
Like I said, basically is to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior. And so anyone who will celebrate Christmas must also have contact with the one we are celebrating. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, if you say you're a Christian and you don't know Jesus, so what are you celebrating? I mean, I can, okay, take for instance that, let's assume the next building here, they are doing naming ceremony, and I have no business with them. Will I just walk in there? What am I going to celebrate? So basically, the Christian must first and foremost know that Christmas is the time to celebrate the birth of his Lord and Savior. Number two, that in your celebration or in a mean to celebrate it, you need to be cautious of what you do. And you see, that's the problem now. People now get drunk, get high, they smoke. This is not in conformity with what we are doing. Jesus came to save the world, and you got drunk on the day you are celebrating the birth of a Savior. You know, we party, we do all this. Fine. You, like I said, you bring your friends to your house, you eat food, but that we have to be consciously done to avoid misbehavior. And so, you know that some people, by yesterday, moderator, you know that some people will be so drunk that you find themselves in the gutter, some will be on the, several accidents because of our misbehavior. So my concern is that Christians it's supposed to be a time of reflection. Let me put it that way. It's a time that you need to reflect and ask yourself, do I even know this God that we are celebrating? That's number one. Number two, have I done what I'm supposed to do? Because, like I said, it's about gifts. Do I give gifts to people? Do I take care of the less privileged? Even this have to go to government. Look, God, like I told you, I said, God so loved the world, He gave us Jesus. So what will you, as a ruler, as a friend, as a pastor, as a Christian, are you going to give to your neighbor? It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with the gift of God. And so during this period, we need to be conscious of what we do. But unfortunately, we have turned into a time of jamboree. A time to drink much, a time to, well, it's okay. But I'm just saying we should be conscious of whatever we are doing.
Now, in talking about the message of Christmas, let's critically analyze this. And this time we're looking at the church. Okay. How well has the church done in passing the actual message of Christmas to the public?
Well, you know that, like I said, several years ago when I was still young, they were able to do that more. Maybe because the number of churches that we have then, you can't compare the number of churches we have 20 years ago.
There's been an increase.
The increase is, how do
massive.
Massive. And when you have such an increase, it's likely that some people will fall down the way. The church has tried their best, and some people are still maintaining it. But I know we can do more. If the church take our responsibility in cognizance with Christmas, taking care of the less privileged, the people we call area boys, it will reduce the number of bad people we have on the street. Because you give them food, you provide job for them. All this is what the church, the Christian faith is about, taking care of the people, changing their lifestyle, taking them from the gutter to the throne of God. But unfortunately, too many people find themselves in the circle of Christianity now because of their belly. They are pursuing, I didn't say to buy cars bad, no, but the way they pursue after worldly things made the church to fail. And let me tell you this one, Amonia, if the church fail, the nation will fail. Because the church is supposed to be the one to show the nation the way out of our problem. And you know that today, so basically, we are trying our best. I'm also a pastor, I run a church. But I know that we can do more. We can do more. The church can save this nation from collapse.
Now, we've spoken about giving and love as one of the lessons we can learn from the celebration. But what more lessons can we learn from the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ?
Like I said, basically, apart from love, you also told that Jesus came to save us as a deliverer. Now, I want, okay, let me put it this way. The leadership every structure of life we have leadership. The other lesson we need to learn is that God showed us example. Apart from loving people, how to lead the people. God himself came to lead us to salvation. Abi. So if you are placed somewhere, very important, very crucial, any one place as a leader anywhere, need to show example, need to push people. It's a lesson we are learning. Jesus came and said, I want to wash your feet. You remember when he was talking to Peter and the rest? And Peter said, no. He said, no, if I didn't wash your feet, you can't go to heaven with me. And he said, I am doing this to you, that you will also do to other people. Christmas is about love, it's about gift, it's about leading people. It's about showing us. 4, it's about humility. Don't forget, Jesus was born in a manger. There's no basis for anybody to be proud. Whatever you have achieved, and pride is one of the things that's killing us in this nation. If Jesus wanted to be born in the house of Pharaoh, or is it Herod, if you want to be born in the, what's it called, the 5-star hotel, he will have done it. But the Bible says he went there to show us, and he's teaching everybody to be humble. Whatever you have achieved in life is not by your power, it's by the grace of God. And so we also need to know that one. Number 4 is about to show how to deal with our enemy. The Bible says when Jesus was born, the star was there, and you remember that the king said they should go and check him, and then the Bible says they want to kill him. But you also know that, don't forget that there's going to be war to succeed in life. But he also taught us how to deal with it. He just told somebody, he said, when he was being arrested, he said, I have power to call angels. He said, but I won't do it. And so we need to be humble. We need to lead very well. We need to show love, and we need to give people gifts.
Now, speaking of leadership, we have few months, less than 2 months, till the next general election. What is your advice to our leaders and politicians as we march on to the election year in the coming days?
This is it's a serious matter. And I want to say it on here that there's one hymn in my church, hymn. It's a Yoruba song, but I will try to see if I can get it in English. It says, Gbogbo iṣẹ́ wa tí à ń ṣe, gbogbo ìwà wa tí à ń wù, gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ wa tí à ń sọ, ẹ jẹ́ kí a máa ṣọ́ra. In other words, whatever we do, whatever we say, whatever we don't do, he said we should be careful. Torí pé Olúwa yóò mú gbogbo iṣẹ́ wa sí ìdájọ́. God will bring every action or inaction to judgment, either good or bad. My advice to leaders, politicians, if you feel the people matters are not important and you are desperate to get post, you may escape it now, but God will bring judgment one day, no matter what. So I'm advising them first and foremost to make sure God is in their mind and intention before they go for any policy or any post. God, I will give account to God. Number 2, the people I'm going to rule over, do I have their love in my heart, or I just want to become a governor or a senator? Or you'll be surprised that even councillor that you are playing with before he became councillor, if he move from where you are living together to another place, and then if he change his number, the man you are talking with, if they continue to do this, they have forgotten that God. Then the people you are not taking care of, 3 things will happen to them. They become bitter against you, and their bitterness will lead them to second thing. Someday they will react against you, and then number 3, there's a God that will judge. So I'm advising all of them, before you pursue this, ask yourself again, is it for God? Is it for the people? Before you, and if you tell us what you need to do, you don't need to kill people, you don't need to fight. Tell us your agenda. We will determine if we want to vote for you or not. So politicians should desist from carrying young men as talk. Tell us your agenda. We will vote for you if you are correct. And if you are not correct, go home. Try again. You can go 10 times, 15 times. And like there's one American president who went for president for about, is it Washington, for several times, and he failed. And finally he became president. So it's nothing, there's no, politicians should not fight anybody. Bring your agenda. Tell us if you want to vote for you, we vote for you. And if you don't want to vote for you, go home. It's not do or die fire.
Right. Now, on the other side of those who want to be elected are the electorates. Now, we who vote, what are your advice to the listeners? What are your advice to the electorate?
Well, I want to tell the people that their vote is their power. And don't let anybody bamboozle you. Don't let anybody. If you don't want to vote for me, don't vote for me. But you must vote for one party. That is the truth, or one candidate. I mean, if you don't vote, like I do tell people, they said politics is dead. I say I agree with you. But I also know that if you don't vote to bring a good person, that dirty person will continue to rule. And can I ask you this question? If a bad man is ruling, what do you expect him to do? If a bad man do anything good, it's a mistake. Jesus said a bad tree will produce bad fruit. So vote for a good person. You people go and vote. Hear anybody well. Don't fight anybody. On the day of election, make sure you cast your vote for who you know can help you. That's my advice.
Right, thank you so much, Pastor Moses A. Pukola. It's about time for us to open up the phone lines so people could call in to ask questions or give us contributions about the Christmas message and, of course, everything we've talked about today. 09136556952. Please ensure that when you call in, your contributions are as precise as possible so we could accommodate a lot of people to call in. The phone line is now open. 09136556952. That's the number to call. Well, just before we take the call that's coming in, on a final note, what would you say to Christians listening and, of course, everybody?
They just imbibe the culture that God has given to us. Christianity is about love. Christianity is about life. Live your life. Show love. Help people. And serve God diligently. You must know that we need to live a holy life. And that's what is going to help us. So Christianity is about living a holy life. It's a way of life. So I'm asking Christians to do well so that they can resemble their father.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Dr. Zil from Sachi.
All right, Dr. Zil, go on.
Yeah, I want to appreciate the pastor in the studio. He has spoken well. And that really, for us, we want to know that Christ died for everybody, not just for the Christians. Mm-hmm. And the celebration that is ongoing, it's not just for the Christians alone. It's everybody, and that is the only thing that will help us to learn from the examples of Jesus Christ, especially in our nation here as we are looking at the new year in front of us and the new election that is coming on board. So as to use this to choose the leaders that are Christ-like, leaders that are selfless, leaders that are not nepotistic, leaders that will not keep quiet when the masses are suffering. So that's the type of leader we want to be, and like Jesus Christ, and those who can lay down their lives for us like Jesus Christ.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Zil. 09136556952 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. We take one more call and wrap this off as we're out of time. 09136556952. Bear in mind that you could also send a message via the WhatsApp platform 09136556864. We're live on Facebook, Diamond 887 FM. Be sure to drop a comment in the comment section, or Diamond FM Ilorin on YouTube, and be sure to view and also drop a comment. 09136556952. As we begin to wrap up, Pastor Moses, thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much for being
You're
here.
welcome. It's a pleasure. I'm praying that as we enter the new year, good things will happen.
Amen.
We have strong faith Nigeria will not be destroyed. Right. And so that's my belief. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to every one of you.
All right, Merry Christmas, Pastor Moses. Thank you to everyone who tuned in at one point or the other to be a part of the conversation. It was such a delight and enlightening one. This is your shining supreme station, Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. Right after now is the news in our native dialect, and after that is Ebawadasi. Be sure to be a part of this. But before we wrap things up, let's go listen to the news commentary from the News and Current Affairs Department.
Talking point in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce.
Please, help us beg them.
They should reduce the expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the
Today's commentary is about your thumbs being the solutions to the problems facing our nation, Nigeria, as written by Mahmoud Lawal of our News and Current Affairs Department. I am Toby Adebisi. The campaign has started in full glee and fanfare. The political players are doing their best